According to Animalasia.com, it is estimated that in China alone, 10 million dogs and 4 million cats are slaughtered each year for the dog meat trade. This is a horrific festival that takes dogs and cats of all shapes and sizes and traps them in small cages as they await for their eventual death. These animals are abused in inhumane ways that can make the stomach turn. So today I'll be discussing why I believe that the Yulin Dog Festival, held annually, should end. The Yulin Liche and Dog Meat Festival, as its official name, is a festival, a 10-day event where over 10,000 dogs are eaten. Cat meat, fresh leeches, and liquor are also available at the festival, said Ravneet Alawilia of Independent.co. The festival started in 2009 and has reared its ugly head in China, Yulin, ever since. It's the Guangxi province of southwest China. Dog meat eating has always been a normality in China. However, during this week, it is glorified, celebrated. So if you think about it, most people may know or may not know that dog eating in China has always been a thing. It's always been a normality. However, during this week, it's just blown out of proportion. People celebrating just eating dog meat. Some of the Chinese believe that dog meat can prevent diseases and even boost male sexual performance. As far as prevent diseases go, I'll be discussing why it may be the opposite of this. Instead of preventing diseases, it may even promote diseases. So I believe this festival should be terminated immediately for multiple reasons. For one, it is inhumane and cruel, which is the most obvious reason. It's very unsanitary, very unhygienic, and the public outrage shines a negative light on China and its people. So my first point of error is that, like I said, the most obvious reason, it is inhumane and cruel to these domestic animals. They're put in horrible conditions, abused around the clock. The thought of these innocent animals being killed is sickening enough. However, before their deaths, they're put in horrible conditions and treated with disgusting intent by the people that are watching over them. Tiffany Lowe of Mirror.co said, the dogs are taken to a slaughterhouse in the Yulin Guangxi province, southwest China. The distressed dogs are left with little food and water, becoming malnourished like any person, any animal would, not being fed or water, while being kept in a dark warehouse. So even for anyone, being in these conditions is horrible. Before these innocent dogs are killed, they are placed in some of the worst conditions imaginable, like I said, not only for animals, but even for people. This is very uncalled for, as in the treatment has zero effect on the outcome of the festival. What I mean by this is that putting these animals in these conditions, treating them horribly, not feeding them, if anything, it would make the dog meat worse for the festival. So that's why I believe that this is uncalled for, as in it doesn't have a positive effect, and it even has a negative effect on the dog meat for the festival. Now on to how these animals are killed, which is the worst part of this topic. Thousands of dogs are taken from the streets or even stolen from their homes to supply for the trade each year for the festival. So you can think about it, your dog's outside playing, a car or a truck comes down the street and just snatches your dog off your lawn, and they're just stolen. It's just not fair to the dogs, not fair to anyone. It's estimated that between 10 and 20 million dogs/cats are captured and transported to the slaughterhouses annually in China, said Kelly Bender of People.com. Some unimaginable ways include, these will make the stomach turn, these dogs will be boiled alive or even blowtorched alive. This is about as inhumane as it gets, obviously. Just the thought of it can make people sick. The slaughter has to come to an end. The things they're doing to these animals is just horrible. Those were only a couple ways, but I thought those were the worst ways. Obviously, they'll just stab them, maybe. Any way to kill them, they'll do. And it's just horrible. Another reason for why I believe this festival must be stopped is because of how unsanitary it is. Like I said in my introduction, they believe that this can prevent diseases, but I'm about to cover on why maybe it can promote diseases. According to Mark Chen of Forbes.com, there are no rules on how the meat is processed or sold. What I mean by this is whoever is caring for the dogs and cats can do whatever they want. Obviously, they don't feed them, don't give them water. There's no rules, no regulations on how these animals are produced, how they're cooked, anything. Dog slaughterhouses are filthy and very unsanitary. There's blood and guts everywhere, dead and half-dead dogs scattered all around the ground. Just a horrible look. Just imagine you're planning on participating in this festival, maybe eating dog meat, and you come across one of these slaughterhouses, and you go in and you see the blood and guts, the dead animals, the horrible treatment. It's just a horrible look. So it's easy to see how these conditions, how bad they are for the animals and ultimately the people of China. They're eating these dog meat, and this is the conditions they're coming up in. Not good. This unsanitary environment also has an effect on the Chinese people. Like I said, many dogs are transported from other cities in crammed lorries in unsanitary conditions, allowing diseases to spread easily, said BBC News. So in the beginning, I said they'll be eating, could be eating bad meat from the mistreated animals. However, diseases can also be spread easily because if you think about it, the dogs are coming from other countries, crammed all together. They could be carrying diseases from the other countries, spreading it to the dogs around them, and then spreading it to people that eat the dogs. So this could promote diseases. Like they said, it may prevent diseases, but not the case. This festival is putting its own people in danger, becoming sick just to eat dog meat for this festival. When will they realize that nothing good comes of this festival? Another point of error that I'll be covering is that majority of the people outside of China disapprove of this festival. And even some of China's own people disagree with the methods. There's plenty of activist groups that are going against this in China and out of China, and all that negative publicity is going straight on China and its people. The public outrage is growing and is shining a negative light on China and the people that are participating, not even participating, people that are just in China. So like I said earlier, the animals are stolen right off where they're at, right off where they're living. So according to a resident of China, Violent of nprc.org, said, when you visit the festival, you can see thousands of dogs that are shipped there. Many of these dogs appear to be stolen, and she said this is because they appear to be purebred, not the kind that would be strays. So most people that have pets that are dogs, domesticated dogs, are going to be purebred. So she said most of these dogs that you see coming in are purebred, which means they're most likely stolen. If it was strays, then obviously they may just be off the street, but these are purebred, so that means they most likely are stolen. Many people disapprove of this, as they should. They're snatching these dogs right at their homes, which portrays China in a negative way as thieves, if you think about it. Some of China's citizens also disapprove of this festival. Joy Sao of Reuters.com said, Chinese activists are trying new tactics every day to convince the authorities to end the dog meat trade. So, like I said in my third point, there's activists in China that are part of the Chinese people are actually forming activist groups against this dog meat trade. This shows that even Chinese citizens don't believe that they believe that this festival is horrible, which again gives a negative look for China because even their own people are turning against them. All the more reason to end the festival. It is easy to see why I believe that this festival needs to be terminated. I believe this because it is extremely cruel and inhumane, like ways I said, blow-torching, boiling, just straight up killing them, unhygienic, spreading diseases easily, horrible living conditions or dying conditions for the dogs, blood and guts everywhere, they're coming up in horrible conditions. And like I just said, the public's displeasure gives China and its people a bad look. Many people are going against China. Many people outside are going against them. They just disgusted by this festival and want it to end, which is all shining on China. It's all going towards China. Millions of dogs and cats are brutally killed for this annual festival in unbelievable ways, like I said. It is time for China to wake up and realize that this festival must be stopped. It is not worth all the pain that it's causing, all the pain to these dogs. If you just imagine, if you have a dog, any pet, you imagine they're taken from your home and put in these conditions. They don't even know what's going on. And it's just, if you just imagine that, it's horrible. Obviously, the ultimate solution would be to ban the festival. However, you can get involved right now by going to humanesociety.org and signing their petition. By signing this petition, you will be helping end the mass slaughter and consumption of dogs in the Yulin Dog Festival each year.